We rolling? Okay. Salam alaikum. Everybody. Salam alaikum to the inaugural, the first ever, never before to be repeated because the first. It's the origin of the Best Medicine Podcast with me, Dr. Riyad Musa. For those of you who don't know me, I am a comedian from South Africa who used to be many years ago a medical doctor, and I decided to start a podcast, call it Best Medicine for obvious reasons. I used to be a medical doctor, and I say a doctor because I don't remember anything. It's almost like 20 years, almost 20 years. No, 15 years? I'm not really sure. But it's a long time ago. I don't know why I'm doing this podcast. I guess I promised myself that I just wanted to get going. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted this podcast to be real. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a real expression of my thoughts as a middle-aged comedian who is mildly famous in my country. Mildly famous, yeah. Sort of a D-list celebrity, as you were. Like, a lot of people know me, but like I'm still like shopping at the Checkers, taking Ubers everywhere. I'm not so famous I can avoid the plebeians, the riffraff. I'm a famous person, but I'm still, around. But I'm down to earth. People say I'm down to earth, but I mean, I'm not really down to earth. It's just I'm forced to be down to earth. I have too much coffee. A lot of people don't know that about me. I think this is like the, third or fourth cup of coffee that I've had today. I'm rambling because I'm hoping through my expression and my talking that I'll find some sort of direction for this podcast. I am about to embark on a world tour, people. Starting in South Africa. Because like for the past 2 years, actually, I've been performing in this room. This is a room above my parents' garage. And for 2 years, right, I've been performing, talking into this camera. I wanted to say this crap camera, into this camera. And because it was a horrible experience, performing for no laughter, just performing for the comment section. So instead of real laughs, instead of that, you get lol. Foo check to lol. That's what I have to say. Foo check yo massa. Wah. I don't think I'm going to swear on this podcast. I don't really swear, right? But I do say right a lot. I say right a lot, and you're going to hear me say and right a lot. And there's a problem saying right if you even when you give directions, you say right, but not because of that. Like I will say, okay, so you go straight, right? And then at the spot, you take a left, right? And so it's very confusing for a person who's listening. But that's how I speak. I don't know what I'm doing here, people, but it's okay. I will find focus. This is the first one. The Best Medicine Podcast. Okay, and obviously I've placed my awards like, those things. What are those things? This is, first of all, my Comics Choice Award, which I received. This is the first ever Comics Choice Award. Best Comedian, the comedian's comedian. The comedians in South Africa gave me this award, the first ever. But, and I won it, but I never really, felt I deserved this award because this is like the year Trevor Noah got The Daily Show, right? I think it was around that time. And I'm going to be the best comedian. I did do material around that time, which was also pretty special. But Trevor was like, next level, dude. Next level. And I won the award because he didn't enter, right? He's like, this is below him because you had to enter your name into the award, into the running, and I did do that, and then I won. But I wasn't the best comedian. And this is the SAFTA. It looks like, for the doctors out there, it looks like a speculum. This is a thing that looks like you're performing a gynecological examination on a moose or a buffalo, right? If I need to do a pap smear on some sort of cattle, then I would use a thing like this. And we won 5 of those things for Material, which is on Netflix for those of you who don't know. So if you want to understand like the depth of my career, you can go to Netflix and watch Material. You know, I've got like an hour now before I have to fetch my children. Yeah, I mentioned I drink a lot of coffee. That's like my second cortado for the day. Woo! There's like 4 shots of espresso, brah. Hectic. And my grandmother's feeding my son coffee as well, which my wife doesn't like, right? Because it's affecting him, bruh. You must see him color fast, bruh. Like over-caffeinated toddler. I mentioned that I was going on tour, right? Stressed out about the tour because I have to leave my family. I've got 4 children. For those of you who don't know, I've been overpopulating the earth. 4 kids. And now I'm going to start traveling again, which my wife is overjoyed about. Oh, she loves it when I leave, you know. 4 children to look after by yourself. I actually hate myself at the moment, you know. But like the fact is, I just wanted to be authentic. Because like it's a weird thing. I don't want to go on this tour. I do want to go on this tour because I'm so excited to perform again. And the show is kwai. The show is like, I think it'll be my best show because I've done Strictly Halal. I've done For the Baraka. That's the one that I think made me famous. Life Begins. No, first Doctor's Orders, then Life Begins. And now, this is Not a Nice Guy. Essentially, the show is Not a Nice Guy. It's about me, like, you know, feeling that I've changed since I've gotten older because I find myself very irritated by many things. I'm taking this creative approach to this podcast to just talk and see. I know this is probably crap. Because I'm a guy who prepares, dude. I'm a guy who prepares for all of this stuff. And very, very different to other comedians. But because I'm unusual. You know, there are very few comedians who are doctors, right? I realized that I'm very different because I'm very conscientious. These other mothers do not work as hard as I do, right? A lot of these guys are much funnier than me, but they don't work, bruh. They don't work. So I'm compensating for my lack of talent. I'm not bad. I'm a reasonably talented dude, but I'm compensating for my lack. I don't know, I'm insecure. I'm compensating by my work ethic. I realize this when, you know, we helped Trevor Noah write for his show Gupta on My Stoop. Because the guy is busy in New York making the Daily Show. I've always had a reasonable relationship. He asked me to come over and help him, you know, because he hadn't been in South Africa for a while. He's going to do the Dome, 11,000 people, you know, 4 nights in a row, you know, 11,000. That's 44,000 people, I think it was. And he didn't have a show. The Gupta on My Stoop show was a month away. And I couldn't understand this, first of all, that you'd be so calm. That's why this guy is like so super talented. People don't understand. He has just natural ability beyond any guy. You can take Chris Rock. You can take Jerry Seinfeld. You can take, I don't know about Chappelle. Chappelle has also got that element of just being so comfortable. But Trevor is very, very comfortable under massive amounts of stress, or very stressful situations. Like I thought, now, okay, so he says, can you help me with the show? So now I thought, okay, we're going to go to New York and we're going to help him. We're going to write full days, because usually what I would do is I would write a show, do a show, and then I would perform it for a year, get it perfect like my show is right now, or close to perfect, and then I'll tour with the thing, and at the last show, or the few last shows that I do, I'll film it, right? And then you have some really good stand-up comedy special. But, and most comedians would do that. This dude, the show's a month away, and he wants to write a show. So, okay, so we go in there to help him. So I think we're going to write furiously from morning to night on this show so he can be ready for this. No, bruh. The guy is doing the Daily Show full days. Starts at around 8:30, done at around 7 o'clock. And then we were writing, we would just hang out. Me and the other comedians would like sort of pitch ideas to him. And most of it he didn't use. Like he would just get an idea, run with it, and then be able to do that whole routine immediately. Like I and a lot of other guys would have to practice, try and get refined and honed and so on. This dude does that thing in like 2 minutes. So that's why I don't think I deserve that thing. But it's still here, looking shiny and impressive. Yeah, so I'm touring, as I said before. My Mikael is not happy with me that I'm going to leave. I got 4 kids, as I said. I got a 15-year-old. No, he's 14. And he's doing hifz, which is learning the Quran, which is like and I'm doing this really frivolous sort of career, right? Where I'm saying some hectic stuff online since I've started a podcast with Stuart Taylor, Nick Rabinowitz, and KG Mohadi also just recently. That's a group podcast. We shoot it over here as well, called Everybody Loves Dad. And we say some hectic things. Like one of the first routines or discussions we had was about strip clubs. So now I've got this, son who's doing this like very, very momentous and powerful and significant, taking a very significant religious and meaningful undertaking. And his doofus father, who had it all, used to be a doctor, very respected individual, and now he's a clown, doing jokes with his friends about strippers in his midlife, in his 40s. And I'd never been to a strip club, right? Okay, maybe once, but I didn't want to go there. I was forced to go there by a family member. But anyways, I didn't want to. I'm a good boy. This is what people don't understand. They watch my stand-up comedy. They think this guy's a hoot a minute. I'm not, bruh. I'm a serious individual. People who know me, I am a serious bruh. Right? I'm very conservative as a person. I always try to listen to my parents. I never smoked, dude. That's right. I never tried a cigarette. Never smoked once. Never been with, only my wife, right? I have 4 children, and, I'm not going to say, we engage in, things that result in children, activities that result in children 9 months later, but only with that one woman, bro, my whole life. Been a good boy. And people think I am mischievous because I do this career. But it's not like that. I'm not like that. I'm a weirdo. I am a weirdo because I do impersonations all the time. That's true. That's the one thing, that got me into doing stand-up comedy. The initial impetus for my life as a performer, I didn't know I was going to be a performer. I always wanted to be a doctor because both my parents are doctors. My mother's a general practitioner. My father is an orthopedic surgeon, which is a bone doctor, and he has a super speciality in hand surgery. He did an operation where some lady's hand got off by a panga, and he was part of the team that sort of reattached this hand, this appendage, and became fully functional. And so my father has that ability, and his son. And I did well at school. I was a nerd, bruh. Surprise, surprise! I was a nerd. Conscientious. Most of my primary school life came first. First. High school life, most of the years I came first. Until standard 9 and standard 10. Remember that was grade 11, grade 12. But back then it was called standard 9, standard 10. When Rhoda Baker took my spot. Rhoda. Just came from nowhere. With a massive calves and massive brain, just took my spot. I was number one. But then, I was relegated to number 2. But it's okay. It was in also a so-called colored school. For the people overseas, it's not this is the term that I was placed into because of apartheid. It's an arbitrary classification. My dad was born in India many years ago, came over when he was 2. That's the type of father I am. Okay, he didn't like crawl himself. He didn't stow away in a ship. They sent him here. His mother and his parents, all there, back in India. And he came to South Africa, to stay with relatives for better opportunities. Right? This is during apartheid. I'm like, how hectic was India? Let's go to one of the most racist countries in the world ever. Institutionalized racism. How hectic was India? But, I'm happy he came here. Otherwise I wouldn't be here. He did come here and he came here, and that's why I'm here. I don't know why I'm making those jokes. I'm a weird guy. Walk around the house doing impersonations all the time. Like I'm trying to do this guy, Andrew Tate, now, because my son, the Hafiz, who's the spiritual representative of the family, and he's being influenced by Andrew Tate, the most hated man on the internet. Responsibility. I drive a Bugatti. A Bugatti. I drive a Bugatti. A Bugatti. A Bugatti. Responsibility. He's a bitch. The guy's a bitch. I'm a weird dude. But anyways, why am I doing this? I'm going to just talk. I'm going to talk generally about what's happening in the week. That's the idea. I'm going to talk about my experiences during the week, opinions that I have about things, real opinions. Also, I have a love for stand-up comedy. For me, stand-up comedy is my best medicine. I got very sad during the pandemic. Very emotional. I had mental health issues, which continues to today. Surprise, surprise. Woo! Responsibility. I drive a Bugatti. I'm a very high net worth individual. Top G. I used to drive a Hyundai Aos. I'm a 4-time kickboxing world champion. Yeah, okay. Listen here. So far, you're getting insight into my psychopathy. People didn't know how mad I was. My wife has to deal with a lot, brah. My wife has to deal with craziness, madness. I don't know how I got here. I was like this good boy, and now I'm this military. I'm wearing my "You Must Come Home" t-shirt. I mean, not t-shirt. I don't even know. Hoodie. Okay, for those of you who don't know, this is like one of my famous routines that made me quite well known, especially amongst the Indians in South Africa, the Indian community. You must come home. Must check on YouTube. I got a lot of stuff on YouTube, bro. I'm putting out a lot of content. That's all I'm doing these days. I'm going to be traveling around doing stand-up and making my wife extremely upset that I'm leaving the family, which I'm really guilty about. Because my kids are the most important thing to me. My family is the most important thing. And like at this point, I would say, I don't want anything else aside from, preparing them, the opportunity to prepare them for the world so they can have an effective life where they're adding value to people. I don't want them to be left with any debt. And at this point, I'm going to leave them with debt, tax issues, which I'm trying to fix. But it's difficult. And then while I have all the stress here, I still got to be, hey, woo, haha, laugh, 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 woo. While inside, I'm crying inside. But that's the lot of being a comedian. Also, I mean, like boo-hoo to me. I have a job where I walk on stage and people applaud. Right? I didn't get that as a doctor. Right? Never got that as a doctor. I never planned to do this job. I didn't. I was on my way to becoming a doctor. And I was sort of exposed to the world of performance by a friend of mine, Abu Bakr Bray. And he introduced the art of magic to me. I remember it was at the Prefab, South Peninsula High. And he showed me this pamphlet of the College of Magic. College of Magic, right? There was a College of Magic back in the day in Cape Town, which still exists today, but it was a much smaller place then. And it showed a magic wand, a dove, one of those white gloves, top hat, and there's the College of Magic. And now we, Riyadh and Abu Bakr, he said, we need to do this, bruh. Let's make a pact. And then I ended up going. I was like, okay. I had no ideas for myself. I just did what everybody else said. Bruh, you want to go to the college? I'm like, okay, let's go. So I ended up going to the College of Magic, and Abu Bakr didn't, because he wasn't allowed, because his parents from Grassy Park, said that magic was haram, prohibited in Islam. And so I went to the College of Magic, and he didn't. Because they think it's like black magic, jadoo, and that he's going to be, putting hexes on people. It's just magic tricks. All I could do is, what? Nothing. Make a coin disappear, dude. Must I show you? I can show you. Check that out. Can you see? Check. Am I blowing your mind right now? Right, the people listening, doing the audio. Yeah, it is. You couldn't see that. But the other people can see this. Can you see it? Look there. Psha! Yeah, 5 years at the College of Magic, bruh. Are you impressed? Are you? Two. You couldn't see that. I don't know if the camera caught that. I'm just working with what I have over here.